Having a studio visit with Tue Greenfort. M series live with Tue Greenfort. Hello, Tue.
Yes, okay. Schönen guten Tag. Wie geht's?
How are you doing? It's okay.
All good. In English?
Yeah, we speak English, yeah, so more people can join the conversation.
Okay.
So, in the round before, I tried to give a quick introduction on your practice, and I talked about Muenster, the sculpture projects in Muenster, and your project like Documenta.
Yeah.
And maybe you can explain again about Muenster, because I put it wrong together, that it was you kind of planned a certain cosmetic treatment to the Arsee as a comment on public art, if that's...
Well, it was like most of the artworks on Muenster, in Muenster sculpture projects are around the Aar Lake. And when I came and visited there first time, you were not allowed to swim in the lake. There was a big sign, and I was just wondering why, and found out that it was polluted by algae. And this is very common with artificial lakes, that they don't have so much water, and the water comes from agriculture, and there's too much nutrition in the water, so that the algae will blossom, or there will be a lot of them, they will multiply. And that's a problem, a constant problem in Muenster, because the whole land is farmland, and they produce a lot of pigs there. They have tremendous big pig farms, and they send the pig to all kind of places in Europe. It's like the export of meat, so to say. But the problem is that the runoff from many of these fields go into our lake, and that's why it gets polluted. So I kind of knew that story, but what the city have done was to place a tank with a chemical called iron 3 chloride upstream from the Aar River. And what they do is to pump this chloride, this iron chloride, into the water, and it's like a salt. It will bind the nutritions from the pigs, so that it will sediment in the lake, in the river, and that's why the lake would not be polluted. But this is like a water treatment. I don't know if I see you. Okay, it's first time.
I lost you for 1 second. You say they put this in the water, and then this is a water treatment.
It looks clean, and that's the first time I've seen it in so to say out in nature. What we say, outside of a closed system for a city. So they pump the chemical in, and the lake looks fine. So this is a cosmetic treatment or fix, you can say, to a problem, to an environmental problem.
And then you cause another one, right?
Yeah, that was like a tank, but the tanks that are involved in all this are, of course, the manure tanks, tanks that the agriculture used to produce, to drive out all the faces, like the urine from the pigs onto the field. So I took one of those cars and turned it into a public a water fountain. And the water fountain, as such, is like a classic aesthetic how to say trope or something from showing off the nature as constructed in parks, like the park at the Aar Lake. So that was like the way for me to tell a story about a common agricultural pollutive situation, and with that kind of like capitalism around agriculture, and then link it with a water fountain, a water cascade that is a classic romantic kind of view on a park. So that was
the public sculpture too, somehow.
exactly. There was a public sculpture that involves a public economy and politics around nature, you could say. So that was the idea. So
Okay,
what's all
okay.
this? Why is there a lot of hearts in this
Because
side?
people share their love with you.
Oh, really? I want more.
Can you give some more hearts to?
I don't see any. I don't see anyone up at you, Johan. Why not? Why don't you have?
I think these hearts are. We share them, you and I.
Oh, okay, it's nice. Then a lot. I like it. Yeah.
You think I should have my? You think I should have my own hearts in my own window?
I would like to see how many hearts you get.
Okay, let's make a competition. Can we get some hearts for Tue, please?
No, I got a lot. It's only at me. Oh, there.
Okay, can we see the quantity of hearts for me?
Yeah, I don't see any. There you go. Oh, that was a lot. I think you get it.
Thank you so much. Okay, let's get to it. Show us what you're working on right now.
Yeah.
I mean, we were planning a show in London, but probably
I have this is my little studio in Denmark, and this is like an old barn from a fisherman who lives here, and there used to be nets in here. They were drying nets, so they have like the system to let out moist air. So it's a nice studio. It's a small place, and I'm working on these casts from. You could say they're kind of like markings or registrations of different sedimentation, or like how a beach is made, like by the constant move of waves and the creation of this kind of like rippled place that you could say is the coastline. So I'm doing these casts that are casted off sand and beach areas. So these are oyster shells, a lot of stone and sand, and it's made with plaster that I also color in different colors. So
not so fast. Can you go again? Can you show us again? You know, you also can flip the camera. Then it's no. You put the circle on the top, and then the camera.
The circle on the top.
You know, it like takes the front exactly. Then it takes the front camera. And then,
like that. You mean
exactly? Now we see the art. Now we see you again. Exactly. Now
I understand you.
So can you go get a bit closer? These are wall objects, or?
Yeah, they're wall objects. They are casted, squared, kind of like tiles, you could say. Yeah. They are more, but it's all like relief. They're basically like classic reliefs, I would say.
But you arrange them.
Some of them I arrange. Some of them are made directly on the beach. Yeah. So it depends. This one here is very rippled. You cannot see it right here. It's quite difficult. It's actually even difficult to kind of. Here's also a smaller one.
Here it's better to see maybe because the other one look into the light. Okay, so it's like in between arte pauvre, ready-made, objet trouvé.
Yeah, you could say so. There and also like some classic like relations to. This place, like from museums, or how to build a diorama, or build a kind of like artificial nature in a sense, or constructed nature in a sense. So it's like, but it's also like to cast a mark, or like from a foot of an animal, or to make a casting of something. So it's one-to-one also that I'm interested in, like this very material, and also this is made out of plaster, so it has this kind of relationship also to very classic art making. So, and it's pretty interesting to work with the plaster because it goes through these different stages from water to solid, from fluid. So that's basically what I'm working on at the moment. I'm also collecting a lot of stones at the moment. These are flint stones.
So are you right at the waterfront?
I am at the water. Yeah, the water is like 1 kilometer from here.
Okay.
And these stones
they have amazing shapes. Where are these shapes coming from?
Yeah, it's like used to be chalk, like that was like fluid, and actually the white, you can say, sedimentation. Sedimentated and through pressure and time, it becomes this kind of dark flint and this stone. And this you can use to make axes, and like it's like almost like a hard glass. And you can here it has this kind of like very like glass sound.
Wow. Yeah.
So yeah, and this is just something I'm interested in. They have this like morphology that like morph, like it almost has a body character to it. So here's like almost a nail.
And do you know what you're gonna do with it already?
No, I'm using them for some displays that will come in the show at the Gammelstrand in I think it's in October. So we're working on that. That's a show that has been postponed, but it's still up. And it will also contain, these are kind of prototypes of the works that I'll show in there. So they're the startup of a longer process of casting.
And how have you been dealing with this whole virus situation and the lockdown? How's Denmark?
Well, it's pretty easy because I'm, it's basically in the countryside, so you don't you don't feel it. You don't have to wear masks every day.
Because you're not really interacting with anybody anyway.
Not that much. I mean, my parents are coming here, and some friends are coming, but else I'm just here in the,
Oh, beautiful.
in the nature. So it's just this is the forest, and behind the forest, like just 500 meters from here, there's the coast. So I can see what I'm doing is just doing gardening, basically, next to. I don't know if this works, but we can see. This is small gardening.
So far, it seems to work okay. Now we're losing you. Now we're losing you. Maybe you better go back. I think we lose to
Makes even more sense to make your own food if you have the.
Oh, now you're back. You were gone for a minute.
Was I gone? Oh, okay. Yeah, it's the internet connection. I'm sorry.
What did we miss?
I know I was walking down in the garden a little bit, just showing my ground. But else I'm here. I mean, it's pretty easy to cope with that situation up here. Berlin seems to be a bit like, what can you do there? You cannot even sit at the Spady anymore and drink a beer. What are you doing? I feel I have more things to do up here. I can work more freely. I have my studio here. I don't have to stand in queue when I go to the Baumarkt or something. So it's better.
Yeah, and is there more work for us to see than these? What you're gonna do with these stones?
That's what I'm working on. That I have old paintings. I have glass pieces that I'm working on. A lot of paintings, glass pieces here. These green ones here.
And what are you planning to do on the with all these found stones? What are you doing with them?
Well, I'm making some displays with the plants and wooden displays for the show in Copenhagen, in Gammelstrand, in October. And they will. So
you will
there, but I'm considering different things. I think they're interesting because of the age involved and the character. They are quite characteristic for the coastal landscape up here in this part of Denmark. And I would like to try to make something that more relates to body. Like each stone seems to have this kind of like body quality, but it's not like this. I can show you here. There's like this is almost like a part of a shoulder, or a throat here. There's like it's like almost when you walk on the beach, you can see these kind of like body parts lying around. There's also a knee. This here looks totally like a knee. It's weird.
But you're gonna find a display for it, or you're gonna build it to?
Yeah. I'm having a display that is made out of wood, out of conifer wood, very light wood, and they will be on it. And there will be some plants that are also like the very classic up here. So, but that's something that is slowly coming up here. Yeah, this is these ones here. The things, these kind of reliefs, they're interesting to do directly off the beach. But it takes some time to let it sit there, and you get this negative, positive thing that are super interesting.
And you just put them up the wall. They hang like a painting.
They're hanging.
Yeah.
They should be hanging.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Thanks for showing us. And Tue, tell me, what's your take on this epidemic? Like, can you see something positive in it?
I think it is of course positive in so many ways. Like I think people are maybe giving some more time to reflection on your life situation or what you're doing. And for me, I also have seen a lot of people that actually just seem to be chilling more out, like more relaxed. And I think that's positive. I think it's positive to connect with your children, even though it's annoying. You cannot put them in school. This kind of like changes, they bring they are a challenge, and they bring something good with them, mostly when they come from that side. I mean, it's of course a bad thing that the economy is collapsing and people are dying, but besides that, I see some good things also. I mean, it's like there's not much to say. Also, it's like a virus, and that situation is a threat that we have known, and it's been coming and going. It was not such a surprise in that sense. So I think you need to restructure the way we live our lives, especially more in cities than maybe out here where you don't. I mean, the distance to my neighbors is big enough that it's not a problem. Even when you go shopping here, like people are also keeping distance. I don't know. It fits into Danish mentality to. Oh, now we have to stick to some rules. We have to stand in the queue, we have to do this, and then we are good citizens or something. And then also, like, people are so afraid of each other, which is also interesting to see, like, this kind of like not so nice things coming out of people. But it's pretty real, and I don't know. It's not all surprising, with so many people and that pressure and those viruses. It's more like a question that it's not happened before. We have the Danish bacteria that is resistant to antibiotics. It's been here for years, and it's in most of the pig farms. And you can carry these bacteria without getting sick from them, but you can pass it on to your children, so you can be a carrier in a sense. And what it does is to stop the blood from getting thicker. So if you have an open wound, it will not heal. And that one is, no one talks about it, but it's still a huge problem in pig farms. So that's just one out of many of these. The part of an ecological crisis, as I see it. It's like that's the crisis we've been talking about. Also, it is something that is related to the way we are relating to nature. So that's how I see it. And I think it should be seen in that, Also, what is interesting now is that you actually have seen that people can change behavior in a matter of very short time. So all this thing about how we consume and how we relate to climate change, this is up to discussion even more, because it seems like you can actually change people's behavior from one day to another, like flying, or what they buy, or how much they buy, how much they buy. Seems like most people are doing all right. The economy has changed the way we deal with it, but people want to also change and do changes. Or maybe they just need to be afraid enough, that it's kind of like. But it seems like ridiculous to me that we have to wait to change patterns before it really gets bad. But maybe that's what's gonna happen. Maybe that is what is happening. So it hits hard.
Here's a comment.
Oh yeah.
Who says it looks like Henry Moore's studio?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean Henry Moore is. I don't know if he's. I always liked him. I always liked this kind of. It seems like he followed certain kind of morphology or forms that are very. It is very much what you see in a stone or in kind of very fluid. A transition, like something that comes from very fluid studies of waves. Yeah, I kind of like that. Yeah, a lot.
And what's the painting in the background?
These are old paintings that I did many years ago. But I'm not saying that I don't paint. But these are paintings from 10 years old, even older.
10? No, 20.
Yeah, maybe even 20. Yeah.
You never showed me a painting in the period we were working together.
Yeah,
and that's 18 years now, I think.
I would say it's not that I don't paint, but I just don't do it that much. That's the way to say it.
But you never showed me. Can I see?
No, you can't.
Oh, come on. I mean, what's the point making a painting if you're not showing it?
Because it's an art studio, so I don't know if I'm showing anything. I'm showing to myself here,
Oh, 1 second. I can't get these questions off again because
Can
I want to. Yeah, there's so much.
What's the painting in the background? We answer it. I smuggled some of these stones from Malmö. They're incredible. They're super amazing. Yeah.
Why do you need to smuggle them? Now I got it. 1 second.
This is a round painting.
Okay, now.
Just something green dripping down. It's one of the horseshoe crabs out of concrete.
Yeah, we showed them. They're amazing, yeah.
And here's a wave glass study for a bigger work.
Oh.
Just
okay.
And here is some tests we did on plants. And these are just a color scheme.
Oh, beautiful. Glass? Is it glass?
Yeah, it's just for my oil colors. It's just the scale.
Yeah.
These are one of the muscle pieces that I've done for a show 2 years ago. It's actually very blue when you see it.
Yeah.
And
that's a direct reference to Brotas?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I think he's one of the greatest. Definitely a huge fan and inspiration for me. This one here is made with a fluorescent varnish. So at night, when the lights gets down, it is lighting up fluorescent.
Really?
Space. Yes. Yeah. It's a kinky work.
Like an acid mool. Okay, now we're talking. Let me see.
It's more like a stage, and there's a green mushroom behind a curtain, and 2 rainworms and a carrot.
It's amazing. Show me the other one.
Yeah, this is more like some figure standing somewhere. It's very sculptural. I don't know. There are some hexagons. The hexagons are always there somehow.
So from when are these paintings?
They are from the Academy time. I guess they are from 2099 or 2000, yeah, around that time.
And have you painted since?
I've painted a bit, yeah, but not much. But I'm continuing, and yeah, new works.
Can we see what you have painted?
No, I can't walk away now from this point, and not yet. Okay. I don't want to talk about my painting in the public streaming here. But coming up, I'm a bit shy.
But Tue, you have never shown me your paintings. I mean,
well,
we did. I don't know how many shows we did. 8 shows, 10 shows. No.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm looking forward to see your new paintings coming up.
Yeah, sure.
And then, of course, the ceramic work you do in the workshop in London, right?
Yeah, but I can't show that here right now because I don't have any of the works here. They are in London, all of it. But, I will do some more ceramics here, but here I can only do a raku. So we might do some raku. It's a nice process. You should come here once. Then we can do you can burn your own teacup, and then we can have a little tea talk, and I can show you all my paintings.
Absolutely, we do that. Two like exclusive private sessions.
Orders are open now.
And actually, there's an amazing film Tue did with me and my kids.
That's right.
Franz and Rita, and we were doing how to make fire, and it was like the challenge of us how to get fire done.
It was really amazing. It was very challenging and totally crazy, but it was so nice with Rita and Franz. You know, and Franz really got it.
He was very ambitious. Franz was so ambitious doing it.
Yeah, and he made a fire in your home afterwards. I thought that was the whole idea.
True.
Just make a little fire, Franz. If you make a little fire in Johan's life, you know that can turn big. Yeah.
Okay, nice to see you, and thanks for showing us. And stay safe and everything. Say hi to your parents.
Back to the paintings. This is live stream number 2.
Exactly. Ciao.
Bye.